I tried to call it Regina, and he was like, no.
And I realized we have not come up with a moniker for our world.
For our world. A moniker?
That could be it, because when I said that, I thought of Waters World on Fox News. We could have Dummies World. Welcome, everybody, to Dummies World.
Let's keep working on it.
Okay. It was just a suggestion.
I like it. No, that's good. I'm not shooting it down.
Yeah.
No offense. Who's with us?
Joanne.
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself again, Joanne.
Bring it up. And then we'll do our intro. We'll do our where I scream and yell, but you first.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I can't believe I'm doing this again. Oh, my God. It's almost been 6 months, actually, so I'm really happy to be here again. My name is Joanne McGinnis. I'm also known as the Canadian Whiskey Lassie, and I live and breathe in St. John, New Brunswick, not to be confused with St. John's, Newfoundland.
Wow, nice distinction. Wow.
All right, so today we have from Saskatchewan, and we received the proper pronunciation before we went live.
We wanted to call it Saskawina.
No. Close.
You called it Saskatchewan?
But from Saskatchewan.
Right. Very nice.
Lucky Bastard Distillery, we have the single malt whiskey bottled at 46%. And what are we going to do, Bart?
We're going to test it!
Woo!
Woo! We're off and running now, baby. There's somebody chuckling.
We are pleased to have Joanne back with us.
Yes.
It was
minus poppers.
Minus the poppers. It was New Year's Day when you joined us last.
It was a great day.
You had already imbibed on a few drinks that day on the beach when you joined us.
Well, that was very neat when you talked about you go to the beach with several friends, couples, and you each bring like your favorite whiskey from the year prior, and you all kind of try it. That was I wished I could like join. That was awesome.
Yeah. That's tradition. It was started by Ross and Krista Galbraith, some of our very good friends, and I think this is the 3rd year that we've done it with them, but I'm not exactly sure how many years prior to that they had been doing it, but it is tradition. New Year's Day.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, Scott, show what we have, because we have samples, but we actually have the same samples, right?
Yes.
Right.
And these were sent to us by Daniel Copeland is his name. He goes by Whiskey Throttle or at Whiskey Throttle on Twitter.
Boom.
On Instagram, I believe he's Whiskey for My Motorcycle.
Wow, that's correct.
A
lot of names.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was the same person. I had recognized a new Whiskey Throttle from Twitter. And then on Instagram, kind of stuff was coming back and forth. And after a while, I was like, oh, okay, you're Whiskey Throttle.
Same guy.
Got it.
Cool.
He is, he's in Canada, I know. Is he near you, Joanne, or do you know where Daniel is at?
Send us that little picture.
Not even close to where I live. He is in the Prairies, which is one province over from, well, it's part of the Prairies. Saskatchewan.
Nice.
Manitoba and Alberta are part of the Prairies, so they're out west. They're closer to, like, I believe, Wyoming, that part of your world in the United States, whereas I'm on the eastern seaboard right next to Maine. So we're worlds apart in the sense that from a distance, I think he's about 4,000 kilometers away, maybe. So he's quite a ways.
Wow.
Let me change. We're getting some comments on our end of our video. I'm going to change something here.
I saw you did get distracted. So you saw some comments come in that said we're lagging.
Yes, we're not lagging. Our video quality, and Joanne, you're crystal clear. I thought whatever camera you're using, it looks great.
Good.
We're getting comments in that, yeah, you look great. Ours was a little like
could be
buffering.
Us. Could be us. Joanne looks great. We look like we're buffering. That could just be you and I.
That could be.
We're a little rough.
Yes, we are. Yes.
All right. So you've messed with some things.
And I think we still have our connection.
Good.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm here. So you showed the photo of what Daniel sent you?
Yes.
All right, so just so you see, I have the exact same thing. There it is, but I have the actual genuine bottling.
Woo.
Yeah. It's called Lucky Bastard, single malt from Canada. Yep.
Very cool.
There it is.
Now, we also have Daniel sent us a healthy sample, and it's a good thing because Bart left his at home.
Boom.
Like he usually does. And
I thought they were all over here.
He said, well, you have a sample. Let's just drink it.
Right.
I go, well, you do that every time.
Could have been part of my plan. Part of my plan would be to drink Scott's samples, and then I'll square up with them later.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Hence Grumpy Dummy.
Which I actually thought of texting Bart or calling him and saying, make sure you remember your samples, but I thought there's no need to do that. No. You will remember.
Well, he sent me a text reminding me to bring this little picture, and I remember thinking, yeah, I got that. He must have the samples all over at his place, because honestly, we will stage stuff over here that we know we're going to do on the live show. So bing.
That makes sense.
But so basically, I'm drinking Scott's sample. Maybe intentional. What do you get?
Joanne?
Yes.
Do you have Mutai?
Oh, she doesn't. Please don't.
The Chinese whiskey? No.
Good call.
No.
Yeah, there you go. They keep trying to, there's like behind the scenes stuff trying to make me drink more Mutai all the time.
We got a sample of Mutai from Bubba and the Beard. It's a clear whiskey from China. And tradition is you do a shot with friends and you drink it till it's gone. Bart will not do that with me.
It's like soy sauce, Joanne.
Well,
that's the note with soy sauce, which I'm not saying. If somebody digs it, you dig it. But I didn't.
Yeah, it might clean the rust off your garden shears really good.
Yes.
Or, some people like whiskeys that taste like that.
Yes. It does have a cool little container that they come in. But good.
That's true.
All right. Now, what else?
Are we supposed to be drinking yet?
Again?
Are we supposed to be drinking yet?
You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Okay. Is it okay that I'm on my fourth glass? Cheers.
Oh, wow. Go.
No.
Don't go. Cousin Shane.
He says, are you going to smell it or are we going to drink it?
Right. That's Cousin Shane. Now, some more. So that is very interesting that they're in like prairie land, because that's totally us. We're in line with Wyoming's a little further west of us, but like we're in line with Nebraska. So their land is probably very similar to our land.
Yes, I would agree. The rolling joke about Saskatchewan is that you can if your dog tries to run away, you'll see him run away for days because it's just flat and long and all kinds of rolling fields of farmland basically. But the province is a beautiful province. It's not overly known for whiskey distilleries in the sense that so Lucky Bastard in this particular instance is, as far as I know, it's the first time I've tried it's the first time I try a single malt from Saskatchewan. I've tried a blend from Saskatchewan before, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, this is a very small little distillery that just started up not long ago.
Now, see, that's great. And I love this idea of all these single malts coming around. Now, this may be a very dumb question, but are there peat bogs anywhere in like Canada that would be similar to what they have over in Scotland?
Not necessarily, because as you know, since I have a huge and wonderful knowledge as well as passion and I love the chemistry of whiskey. And so the Canadian peat bogs are more organic in nature. They're not necessarily, it would be more like compost or peat moss, which would be used in my end of the world, in Atlantic Canada at least. It's used for fertilizer, or fertilizer byproducts. So it's a different composition and it's a different organic type of peat moss. It does exist, but not many people are using it. Now, there are a couple of distilleries, my apologies, that are experimenting with Canadian peat, which I've had the pleasure of tasting one so far, and I really did enjoy it. It was a bit more on the rich earth and smoke versus like the briny phenolic. It definitely never ever going to see a Lafroig type Canadian whiskey unless somebody comes up with a strain of peat in Canada that's very, very close to that.
Very cool. Now, I know, Scott, you had a little tidbit on the name, because I know you looked into a few things. Obviously, we didn't know as much about it. By the way, love your shirt.
Yeah, and I had a couple comments come in because I've got a shirt behind me and this one.
Right.
When Daniel sent the samples of the Lucky Bastard, he also sent shirts from the Lucky Bastard Distillery.
For you and I.
This medium.
That's a medium.
And this large.
Which says what? You got to show it, because you're not wearing it. So the large, he thought would be good for me, which, hey, that's
oh,
great.
Nice.
Look at it's that. Not a party till somebody pulls out the pickle.
That's right. Got to pull out the pickle. I love that's a huge hit. I love the gray one because it harkens back to that like airplane art, that plane art that they used to put on the planes in World War II.
Yes.
I love that shirt.
But because he sent kind of smaller ones than we needed, he sends the extra large for Bart of the same one. So
woo!
Bart has one as well.
We can put that on right now. I'm not going to take this one off. I'll layer it in. Now, what about the name?
Oh, anyway, yeah, looking real briefly, we don't like to get too involved in the history of the distillery
Just a bit.
This and that. But there was a 4-year legal battle Lucky Bastard had with the Canadian federal government over using the name Bastard.
Correct.
Which they deemed obscene.
Yes.
Wow. They should have called it.
Any reasonable person would find that word obscene, basically, they said.
Should have just called it My Baby Mama.
Yes.
my baby daddy. You could. That's even better. My baby daddy whiskey should have been there.
Lucky Canadian, baby daddy.
Yeah, my baby daddy, American or Canadian single malt.
That's right. Lucky baby daddy.
Yeah, that's right.
I like it.
Backed off the bastard and went with baby daddy.
Baby daddy.
Baby daddy. All right, now, Scott, you're looking at some comments coming in. Surely baby daddy got somebody.
It doesn't look like on our end that our video has cleared up any, so I apologize. I'm going to have to get that looked into before.
All right. We'll work through the bad, grainy video apologies. Anything coming in on comments?
Let's see. Claire the Third is at his bachelor party. I think he went to New Orleans for the weekend.
Wow, he's at a bachelor party and he's tuning into us.
He wants to have. He was going to have a shot.
Boring party.
Well, he's a lucky bastard.
He is.
Last night was probably the bachelor.
Oh, last night. Yeah, that's true. You probably don't do the batch party on Sunday
afternoon.
So they're recovering at this point.
Okay.
He's probably still drinking some coffee.
Good idea.
Oh, and hey, Whiskey Throttle is with us. He says,
hey,
Daniel!
The legal battle is still going.
Oh.
But legally, they are called LB distillers.
LB.
Right? Correct.
Wow.
So,
still saying
from henceforth, we shall refer to them as LB distillers.
I think we call them baby daddy distillers.
Me too. I like it. Baby daddy distillers from
yes, that needs to be. That needs to happen.
Saskatchewan.
Bam. Saskatoon.
Bam.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
I like it.
You just said Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
But you said
on video. She's mocking.
Okay.
I think it's an American mock.
I don't do sarcasm.
Yes, so the Kansans that come in.
Yeah.
Yes. A little bit of heavy sarcasm. Any other great comments rolling in on Baby Daddy?
Claire,
plugging Baby Daddy.
Claire says Friday night they went hard. He got back to the room at 9:30 a.m. He's still recovering.
Wow.
High five to that poor man.
You said Friday they what?
No.
What?
Went hard.
Wow. Prom night.
Yeah.
Inside joke. Sorry.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead. Yes. I was with you.
Oh.
I'm on board with you. You said prom night. That's why I'm working that in.
Okay.
Wow. We have our pantaloons on.
We do. We all have our pantaloons on this time around.
right. Yes, this time around. We were
Nope.
challenged to keep our pantaloons on.
Yes, and no hot tubs were harmed in the making of this video.
Wow. There you
Cheers.
go. What do you got on the nose,
I'm
Scott?
trying to place it. It's something I have not nosed before. Some sort of a floral or a
You know what I get?
herbal.
A little bit of hoppiness, almost like a hops that I'll get in a real strong hopped up beer. You're right, a little bit of that floral, a little caramel and cream, kind of deeper underneath. But the hops jumps out at me. Am I crazy on that one, Joanne?
No, not necessarily. I think a lot of hops have a flower kind of. That was the dog moving my computer. Hi, Miles.
Miles.
Well, at least thank God he's inside today.
Yes.
Yes. Today he's inside.
Dog in.
Yep. And I'm not getting nasty messages from friends and neighbors on my phone to let my dog in. Oh, boys.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hops can sometimes give very floral aromas, but I highly doubt that there would be an actual like hop, an actual hop thrown into this.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you're going to think it's slightly crazy, but the very first time I opened the bottle and I poured myself a sample, I always take out my notebook immediately and I literally just write down like what pops into my head, which sometimes makes no sense. And other times it's like, I'll say it out loud and people will go, oh my God, yeah. So far I'm the only one that smells this, but I get banana cream pie. Don't ask me why,
All right.
but that's what I get. I get a very soft, creamy, lots of whipped cream, lots of mashed banana, lots of just beautiful, creamy, custardy mashed banana. That's what I got the first time. And I still get that, which, again, I've had other people smell this and other people taste this, and they go, I don't get the banana in this at all. And I'm like, well, there you go. Goes to show how everybody's different, right? So.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that whipped cream, that very creamy custardiness. I get the floral note first, and then the cream kind of, for me, slides in on the back end.
Yeah, it's almost like the backdrop is you can almost taste or feel that really creaminess on the nose, which kind of sounds bizarre, but you just know it's going to be a really rich, or at least you think it's going to be a really rich tasting dram based on the aroma. It's very aromatic. It's got a beautiful smell to it.
What do you got, Scott?
Two things. Whiskey Throttle points out that all the grain comes from Saskatchewan.
Sweet.
That's used. And then Drinking Caveman has asked, what's the year on this?
Ooh.
And is there any special casking?
Okay. So to the best of my knowledge, what I can tell you is there is no age statement on this particular whiskey, and which leads you to believe that it could be as young. I mean, legally it has to be 3 years old, like in most countries that make single malts. But they chose not to put an age statement on the bottle for this particular whiskey. It is a single malt without an age statement. And I would think, I kind of get the impression based on the flavors we're getting that this was an ex-bourbon cask, because I have bottle 163 of 327, batch number 4, so slightly small batch. Of course, it says handcrafted, but it is very small batch. It's a small batch bottling. Only 327 bottles were made from batch 4.
Wow.
And I would care to say that it's definitely an ex-bourbon cask based on the florals and the creaminess that we're getting on the nose. And for me, the taste, because I've already imbibed it several times.
What's the ABV again?
The ABV on this one is 46%, which doesn't feel like a young whiskey that's bottled at 46%. So I was really impressed the first time I got to try this, other than a slight sting on the swallow. And when I say sting, I mean kind of like maybe like you might have got a little bit of lemon peel, or like just that soft kind of at the end of the dram. It's very nice. It's short. It's not a overly complicated dram, but it's a very nice little sipping dram. If I had to actually give this a score, for the price tag, I'd probably easily score this somewhere in the low 80s for an everyday dram. Got home, put the barbecue on, threw some in a glass and started drinking it.
What are your flavor notes, Scott?
There's very nice vanilla caramel cream with it. And it almost harkens back to, it reminds me of a white corn whiskey, and it isn't, since it's all a single malt, but it seems like a hint of almost like a white corn, that Woodford Reserve white corn that we had. I do get a hint of a young whiskey.
Yeah.
Cinnamon.
Okay, a little bit of spice. I could see that.
Yeah, spice.
Yeah. I think what I'm surprised to not find is what I would consider like the flavor of virgin oak or oakiness, which a lot of young whiskeys I can almost find immediately, or if you give me a dram that has matured or even been finished in a virgin oak, I tend to find those right away. They're not my most favorite of drams, and so I kind of feel like the fact that I'm not finding this in here means you didn't use
vanilla.
Yeah, I do get vanilla, but I don't get what I call the virgin oak. It's almost like it's almost tannic for me. It's almost like a really, really dry cup of tea. Like my grandmother used to make a pot of tea at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it would stay on the stove all day.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was the color of mahogany by supper time, and it would dry out your mouth like the Sahara Desert. It was just the most horrendous cup of tea by the end of the day.
Wow.
And that's kind of what I get when I find something that's been aged in either virgin oak or what I would consider still a fairly young whiskey, because the wood has had not a lot of time to really marry or impart, or not impart, but kind of do the dance, the whiskey dance, so to speak.
Right.
But I really do like this one. I was quite surprised when I opened the bottle and I had my first dram, and I've had probably, I don't know if you can see this, but I've had a few drams of the bottle since receiving it. I think it's great. I like it.
You're right. It's lighter. It's refreshing. I agree with you. If I had it, like what you were just saying, if I was going to go out and start at the barbecue and I maybe even wanted to throw in an ice cube with this or something, I could see sitting there and drinking that.
Funny you should say that, because that's exactly how I tend to enjoy it. And I got one here with ice in it just to kind of show the difference. This one on ice. Oh, great. Now you're going to hear my phone ringing.
You're all right. That's like a neighbor. Your cat. Get your cat.
It's the neighbor calling saying, let your husband in.
That's right. He's outside. He smells like rum.
Outside.
Yeah, he's in his underwear, no pantaloons, and he's got a bottle of rum.
Welcome to the Whiskey Lassie world.
Now, you mentioned, you said something about the price point on this. We don't know. How much is the Lucky Bastard from LB Distillery?
Well, and unfortunately, because this isn't available in my own province, I don't know what the price point would have been here. When I tried to look it up, actually, to see what the price point was in Saskatchewan, I think it's still below $40 a bottle, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I could try to look it up now. Maybe Daniel, if he's online still and sort of listening, he might be able to tell us.
That's what I was thinking. We might get a little info sliding in here. Scott's watching.
Yeah, and where it's available, because at the moment, I'm pretty sure when I tried to look to see if there was a possibility of other provinces that might be carrying it, I couldn't find proof. I think the only place you can actually purchase it may even be right at the distillery. So if that's the case, then I even feel more blessed, because it means it's a fairly rare little bottle that you and I, well, both of you and I got to try thanks to Daniel. So that's really cool. Yay, Whiskey Fabric yet again.
Yay, Whiskey Fabric. I agree.
Whiskey Throttle is still with us.
Good.
He got this through a lottery.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I remember that now.
And it was $85.
Wow.
Okay.
So 85 Canadian is probably like what, $10 in the States?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
No, I don't know. That's
Running
probably,
gag.
that's probably
a
what,
running gag.
yeah. What, probably $50 US?
We're at Trinity and C. We
Yeah.
started doing that. Trinity and C were coveting everything we get in Kansas.
Okay. It's we're about 75 cents on the dollar. So if you can do the quick math of what 75 of about $80 is, it'll give you an indication of, yeah.
Got it.
So, but for, for the first time out of the gate, not bad at all. I mean, I can honestly say that, there wasn't, up until maybe 3 years ago, there was only one distillery in Canada that actually had a single malt on the market. So there's been a huge,
very nice
explosion of distilleries creating single malts in Canada since Barry and Barry actually were the second to put out their single malt, and then it just progressed from there. So it's kind of nice to see all these little craft distilleries coming out with their own versions.
Yep, we're loving that here too down in the States. There's talk that they're going to try to get legislation to set a standard for an American single malt, which would be phenomenal.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh gosh, yeah, and I'm with you. I think there's going to be more and more coming, and I'm very excited. Very
cool.
And I've been avoiding these comments.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to bring it up.
What?
Uh-oh.
No, the bottle of Wow has returned.
No, we're not pulling it out. I've been banned from bringing it out.
Prom night.
Oh yeah, no, I've been banned from pulling it out. Prom night.
My prom night.
That's right, my prom night. I gotta get you. I'm properly quoted. My prom night.
Swami is enjoying a sample of the bottle of Wow.
Wow.
That started some of the comments coming in. It's recently showed up in Ontario.
Ooh. Get it.
$150 in Ontario,
It's worth
which
it.
would make it.
Yeah, I know. Still get it.
No, I don't get it either. I'm sorry. I'm willing to try, but if you try it once and you don't like it, that's oh well. And if other people enjoy it, I think that's great. But for $100 a bottle, I can think of other things that I would sooner purchase that I would really enjoy.
Yeah, 150 you said, right?
150. Oh my gosh.
I know.
LGB007 asks, what is Wow?
Wow, it's a bottle of Wow.
That is the Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Barrel proof. What happened was we were reviewing it. I took a sip, and it was literally makes you go, wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wow. It's very strong. I mean, we dilute it down, but I love cask strength barrel proofs because I can play with that ABV in my glass.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I found it took my breath away, which is not necessarily a pleasant experience the first time you're drinking it because you start to choke and sputter and can't breathe. But again, once you kind of figure out what you're doing and add maybe a little bit of water and then bring it down to where you will enjoy it, that's wonderful. But $150 a bottle, like, ooh, yeah, wow.
See, I'll do the other thing when if I don't do ice. I mean, it sounds gross, but I'll let a little saliva build up, and then I kind of do that inhalation and suck it in through my teeth kind of deal, and I kind of enjoy that too if I'm just sitting down by my computer.
Yeah, actually, there's a quite a few whiskey writers and spirits. I don't want to call them experts, but the people that I look up to will often say that sometimes that's all you need is the spit in your mouth to kind of like, make it a little more wet, for the lack of a better term. Prom night again. And that's all you need, right? And it does, and it'll change the chemical composition of your whiskey. It'll make it a little bit more rounder. It'll take off the rough edges, which, again, each his own. Whichever way you enjoy your whiskey.
There you go. You hit it right there. Definitely. So yeah, I've been bringing it out. I've been pulling it out on the live shows, especially when we're filming at Scott's house, because then it's his bottle of Wow. Crazy like a fox is what I'm saying.
Crazy like a Scott.
Now, what else? We got more comments rolling in? Throw out some more.
I've been addressing or hitting a few more up here in my comments, so I don't have as much. It's still just a lot, and I hate to keep bringing up the bottle. People are going to quit tuning in with the bottle of wow. They're going to be like, oh, they're talking about the bottle of wow.
They're new.
We're done.
They're captured.
Lucky Bastard.
Yes, no, Chupacabra.
How many do they have out now, or is the single malt they're only in right now?
Right. Say again. I'm sorry.
Grant's home.
Grant's home. No, there's a dog. Miles.
A little more.
Yes. No,
God forbid anyone's allowed to walk on the street.
That's
Come here.
right. He's a good dog. He's a good little doggy.
Good boy. Good boy.
We love the dog.
There
He's
you
a
go.
big fella.
No, is the single malt then from LB Distillers? Is this the only bottle they have available right now, or do they have? I know they've got vodka.
Oh yes, they've got vodka, they've got bitters, they've got other types of flavored spirits. I had a list that I had sort of prepared, and now I'm juggling a telephone and a barking dog and a couple of drinks and 2 test dummies and.
Yes, that's right. Juggle us.
I can juggle.
Juggle.
I'm a juggler.
No, that is good. Well, I like the sound. It sounds great. They're making sure they're profitable right away by doing some stuff that they can sell as soon as they make it.
Correct. And they have some really interesting liqueurs that they make all foraged locally. So they use Haskap, Carmen. They have another one called the Saskatoon Berry, which is Saskatoon. If you've never had a Saskatoon Berry, it's actually quite interesting. They make another one out of sea buckthorn and wildflower honey. So they do a whole bunch of different things. And I've had the opportunity to try their bacon bitters. Oh my God.
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure
You guys
about that?
like
You look a little
A
unsure
little bit
about
on the
that one.
fence there, Joanne. Little on the fence.
Bloody Marys. Bloody Marys?
Yeah.
Either one of you?
Yes. He
Bloody
makes
Mary?
that. He
Okay,
makes that.
so when I was, here in Canada, we don't drink Bloody Marys. We drink something called Caesars.
What is that?
It's a Bloody Mary with clam juice in it.
Oh, gold.
I know it might sound a little bizarre, but it's super tasty because it has a bit of that briny ocean flavor
No,
to
actually,
it.
it sounded very good to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I was in New Orleans a couple years ago to Tales of the Cocktail, I asked for a Caesar, and they looked at me like I had 10 heads and asked if I was from Canada, and I said yes.
Yes.
And he served me a Bloody Mary with bacon bitters, with a slice of bacon and peppered bacon in it.
What?
That was like breakfast for me. It was amazing. I felt like I was back home again. So Lucky Bastards, LB Distillers also make a fantastic bacon bitter, which is just to die for. And they make other spirits like vodka and a couple of other different things. But they're really doing really great to just kind of like be self-sustained and use all of the ingredients that they can within their own province, which is really great.
That sounds phenomenal.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, I like the idea that they even threw a little strip of bacon in your little Bloody Mary.
Oh, that was amazing. I'm telling you, I've never had anything like it. I don't think I could recreate it even if I tried. It was just so tasty.
See, that is something you would do, Scott. If you would be like, try this, and I'd be like, you got a strip of bacon, and you'd be like, yeah.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, wow, I'm not going home. My wife would be calling, come back. No, baby, not until you learn how to make this.
Exactly. Should be a staple in everyone's diet.
Yes.
Bloody Marys and dirty martinis.
Oh, we had a long discussion about dirty martinis last night and how they're better than what's the other version of a martini, I suppose.
Oh, there's probably
I haven't warmed up to the dirty
martinis.
martini yet.
And I'll tell you what,
Just
are you making your own dirty martinis, or do you like them, Joanne?
I don't like them.
Oh, put just a splash of a peated Scotch in with it to give it a Put a little smoky, and I like them what's called a filthy martini, a lot of olive juice,
Ugh.
and maybe even an extra olive or two.
Ugh.
But then
Filthy.
and then add just a splash of a Lafroig in there with it.
Okay, I will try that, and I will let you know how that turns out.
See, you turn me off with the olive juice, and then you say Lafroig in it.
Yeah.
And then I'm back on board.
Exactly. Totally saves the idea of whatever it is I'm about to drink the minute you say Lafroig. So I'm good.
Yes, I am with you. Oh,
there we go.
he
Daddy's
agrees. He concurs. I get what?
We have a question for Joanne from Raster.
Raster.
What are your favorite regular Scotch or bourbon, or your go-to Scotch or bourbon?
What are my favorite Scotches or bourbons?
Regular, kind of regular or go-to?
Daily.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my regular Scotches. See, I kind of don't like answering this question because, to be quite honest, our household, I have probably about 150 open bottles of whiskey from all over the world. Plus, I'm so fortunate to be a part of the whiskey fabric, so I get whiskey samples from everywhere. So honestly, like there is no quote unquote regular anything for me. I'm not a creature of habit. So what ends up happening is I will come home, and it depends on the day I've had. If I've had a really rough day and I'm feeling down about something, then I'm going to go for something special that I don't have on a regular basis. But if I'm coming home and I'm walking through the door and Graham says, what are you drinking? I'm going to say, bring me whatever. And whatever he brings me usually makes me happy. There's only one whiskey that I kind of really clung to for the longest time because I was so impressed by it. And I drank it. I bet you we went through 5 or 6 bottles the first year we had it, and it was the Stock and Barrel 100% rye, which is a Canadian rye. Oh my gosh!
We haven't had the rye. We just had
the
single malt.
We had the single malt. That was delicious.
Okay. I will have to send you the 100% rye because the very first time I got to try it was at the distillery years ago with Barry and Barry, and it blew me out of the water in the sense that it's not. If you gave it to somebody who was a staunch rye drinker, I'm not 100% sure they would recognize it as what they think a rye is supposed to taste like, because it's just so different and unique. And whatever recipe they fell upon works so well that it just makes it a very different type of 100% rye that was available on the market. So that one was probably a favorite for me for the longest of time. Not that I don't still enjoy it. It's just I've kind of gone back to, all right, what are we drinking tonight kind of thing. Like, oh, I don't have any samples here with me right now. I usually just go in my whiskey room and I'll grab 4 or 5 samples. I don't even look at what they are, and I'll throw them here usually, if you can kind of see my little cubby. Beautiful. And Graham and I often play the game of, whoever gets home first pours blind drams, and we enjoy them, and then we figure out what they are. So it's a constant educational kind of fun thing to do.
Love that.
Let's say you're going away for a week, and where you're going, there's not a liquor store. You got to go to the liquor store. You can pick one bottle to take with you for the week. What would you buy?
See, so again, like I would have a hard time answering that question because it would literally be like, okay, so, and I'm sorry if this is going to sound bizarre, but it's like, is it the day before I'm supposed to start and I'm feeling emotional, or is it?
I wasn't sure where you were going. I'm like, what?
I'm just saying. Or was I pissed off at Graham, for whatever reason, and I decide the hell with this, and I'm buying a really expensive Scotch today, or it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. One of my friends actually asked me to write a piece called "The Desert Island Dram," and so because I do love to write, I really wrote it in a way that, you know, what would happen if I really got stranded on an island? Like what would happen if I got stranded on an island all by myself, with nothing more than whatever bottles I had packed on my boat? And I wrote it. It became a very emotional moment for me because I had a hard time picking what I would do, and I never revealed what the bottle was. Yeah.
Okay, but okay, so generally, I mean, would it be a bourbon? Would it be a Scotch? Do you think an Irish whiskey, a Canadian whiskey? Where
it would likely be Canadian.
Okay,
that much I can say.
Good, that's acceptable. Yeah. I'll take that.
That's okay. Acceptable. He'll accept that from you.
Thank you. Oh,
I say you take what. Yeah, you take what is served, my friend. You take what.
So much pressure. So much pressure.
Yeah.
Well, this came up last week or a couple of weeks ago on a live stream, and we were talking because several times a year I have like a week-long out-of-town training or something like that I go to.
He's special. They send him on a lot of special training.
Sometimes I pack a bottle to take with me. Now it's varied in what it's been, but it's always been a Scotch. I'll tell you that.
Really? You don't take bourbon with you?
I haven't. No. Because not that it would be out of the question, but it just kind of, if I got one bottle and I might have to have that several nights during the week, I've taken. And generally, it's been something kind of reasonably priced as well, $30 to $50 range. Probably.
Now, see, I don't bring something with me. When I land where I'm landing, I go find a liquor store, and then I grab something, hopefully.
Something cheap.
No, I grab something that I can't find here. And I'll be like, bam, look at that. I'm buying that. Yeah.
I'm with you. I have a tendency to do that more than pack something and take it with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I do feel a little desperation. Like as we're nearing, I'll be like, keep an eye out. I've been known to yell out like, keep an eye out for a good liquor store. And I just like, randomly shout that out. And if people are in big conversation, I'm like, look for a liquor store. Yeah.
Driver, find the local liquor store now.
Right. Yeah. And then Scott's next to me. He's like, well, I've already looked it up on my phone. There's 5 choices here. This is the closest one. I'm like, that doesn't even sound adventurous. Yeah. I just want to see something and like pull in. Sorry, I've thrown you.
No, let's go. I'm like the editor in chief. I got to keep things rolling sometimes. Move on.
He's just made himself editor in chief.
We were gonna. Oh, I've got editorial control.
I am known as the president.
That's fine. That's fine. The editor.
Hey, hold on. We got to step away. Do that again. We'll
Hold on. Okay, do it again. Ready? Ooh.
Wow. That was phenomenal. It was like a CGI trick.
So, I'm going to break with tradition and ask Graham McKenney to sit for just a moment.
Yes.
Do it.
Seat in the chair.
Now,
I'm still putting him on the spot.
Do it.
Bloody hell he says.
We know you're still sweet. You're still sweet with the rum.
Now, joining us is Graham.
Graham.
This is Whiskey Lassie's other half.
Yes.
The other half of the Lassie.
I think I called you Grant earlier. My apologies, Graham.
It happens all the time. Sorry.
Now, you've been at a rum tasting. Is that correct?
I have. Yep.
And what do you have now then? What are you drinking?
So this is a San Francisco rum punch, actually. The recipe comes from David Wondrich, the man who literally wrote the book on punch. And it's a great, easy sipping punch recipe.
Now, I'm going to comment. I believe last time I saw a photo of you, you were bearded.
Indeed.
I know. I see you've got a little 5 o'clock there, but automatically I was like, there's no beard.
No, spring has sprung, and myself and the dog have been shorn, so we are lighter and feeling the breeze.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yep. Now I stepped over the drink a little bit. My apologies. I'm sorry. The rum punch.
Yes, sir.
It looks delicious.
Is that a recipe we should put out on our website or during the show now?
Absolutely. It's a great, easy sipping punch recipe. Again, if you're really interested, then David Wondrich has a great book out called Punch. and it is not only the history of punch in all its forms, but also a great recipe book. So this is definitely one to check out.
Oh, I see a shirt now too. We all got a matching shirt.
Apparently, I didn't get the notice of the uniform here.
That's right. We're all in what we call LB uniform.
We're all in our LB uniforms.
That's right. Beautiful.
Also known as Baby Daddy.
BabyDaddyWhiskey.com.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's go back though, Graham. Do you remember January 1st of this year?
Barely.
Okay, we had Lassie on live stream, and we got some texts and some tweets from you.
You did text us.
Absolutely. I think I still have the photos to prove it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Yeah, I remember you literally saying, "I'm en route home, and for God's sake, let in the dog."
Yeah. It was a wonderful day. We spent New Year's Day with a bunch of friends drinking whiskey on a beach, and then going back for some hot fortifying food while we all sat around and watched you guys.
I'm glad you said food right there.
Yes.
I heard drinks, and then you went back for a hot fortifying.
And Joanne has educated us on prom night, or what?
Prom night.
Yeah, prom night.
You let them in on the secret.
I did.
Yeah. Immediately we said something like, I don't know, what was it?
I don't. It was you.
Yeah, it was something like an enlarged something, and she said, "Oh, prom night," or whatever.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yes.
He was actually talking about his double X.
That's true.
The first X or the second X?
The
How many
double X.
X's do you have?
Sorry, we were just talking shirt size.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
Entirely.
I do have one X. That's the Mitzi surprise story that came out.
Enthusiast right there.
Yeah. No, you're good. We've put that out on the show. I didn't know I was about to get divorced, but my mother-in-law did. That's the one where literally my wife was visiting my mother-in-law. My wife is en route driving back to the house, apparently telling her mother. Her mother calls me sobbing, and I'm like, "What's going on, Mitzi? What's going on?" And then I got like, "Gotta go, bye, see ya."
Click.
Yeah. She didn't know I wasn't clued in on what was about to occur.
Well, apparently the whole family has arrived here
Pretty
now.
much. We just need the cat.
Yeah.
Hey,
Maybe our gerbil.
Yeah.
We don't have a gerbil.
Just gonna
no
say,
gerbil.
acquiring
No gerbil.
livestock while I'm out of town.
So where were you at, Scott? You were somewhere.
Well, the editor-in-chief was going to step in and see what's our next dram. What are we going?
Oh yeah, we got to go to another one. Anything other than Elijah Craig barrel proof?
Yes.
That's not allowed because I call for it quite too often.
Quite too often.
Quite too often.
What do you got?
What's next?
Come on. Hey, how about Compass Box Circus?
Ooh.
Oh.
He just lets me look at him. Get on him, Joanne.
I do have 2 Spice Tree extravaganzas.
Pull it out.
Pardon me?
You got Spice Tree
Not that kind of
extravaganza.
show, guys.
Not that kind of show.
Prom
Yeah.
night. Hey, there we go. Spice Tree extravagant. I do remember though. You did have was it photos or something where you had friends that were actually sitting around watching you live on the Dummy show.
Yes.
You guys were the main event
Yeah.
on the big screen.
That is cool.
It
That
was
is very
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Now, hold on, Scott. We're circling you back. You were going to open a Spice Tree Compass Box.
No, I mean, if we're looking, what do you guys have? I'm sure you guys probably have your own room of
Room.
whiskeys.
You got a room.
We do.
We do.
What do you have for Compass Box?
That I want to open.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's a couple of those in this house too.
He's
Yeah.
a collector, Joanne. He's a collector.
I can tell you though, the lucky bastard is pretty heavy on my taste buds right now. I don't.
You're
I mean-
equivocating. That's an equivocation.
We need something peated.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
there
you
we
go.
go.
Grab the lore. Where's the lore? The Lafroig lore was delicious. Do you have that?
No.
Oh, I hadn't bought it either. Somebody told me it was not as good as it turned out to be. I like it. It's like dead air. Fill it, brother.
You want Lefroy 10, triple wood, or 18?
Ooh.
You know what? I still have the samples of Compass Box that you guys sent me.
Really? What'd you send?
That was the general, I think, wasn't it?
No, I just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh, just going into the tickle trunk.
Oh, I like what you say there. Now, we did ask her, Graham, if you kind of your desert island dram, but we actually we reformulated in what would be your daily. Is it a bourbon? Is it a Scotch? Is it a Canadian? What's your daily sipper? Do you have one?
No, it's always changing.
All right, so you're with her. I love that idea that she said she'll come home and you'll have something prepared, and you guys sometimes just grab samples and even kind of blindly taste them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
Me. The next trip, that's coming with me.
Woo! Traveling dummies.
Yep. Here.
So we've got exceptional grain, exceptional malt, and exceptional blend.
Oh,
those are good.
Do I hold on to those?
Now, those are sherry.
Yeah, pull those out.
Are sherry-based.
Pull those out. Don Sutcliffe and his different, yes.
It's that, or I'm going to open up my Compass Box Pete 10-year anniversary.
Oh, my, that is good, too. We don't have that here, though. I don't think that's at my house.
At your place.
So let's do these exceptionals. Those are great.
Okay, let's do those.
Yeah, these are really neat. Our first exposure to these before we actually met Don was at a tasting at one of our higher-end restaurants here. And we saw that Don Sutcliffe was coming to town. We managed to get on the tasting. What, it was about 60 people showed up, and then Don gave a wonderful presentation, and we got to try several. I think actually, didn't we even try his bottle one? One of these is bottle two.
The exceptional malt, we have batch 2.
Right.
Well, okay, Don Sutcliffe started the exceptional malt, and he and a buddy that had worked at Macallan for years. They use some extremely aged. I mean, some of these have 20 and 30-year-old Macallans in them.
Right.
Don does not like peat.
Right.
He wanted sherry-based scotches.
Well, think of Compass Box blending, but this is sherry-based.
Yes.
Blending.
What they didn't realize, though, until they mixed and bottled, when they tasted the scotches individually before blending, there was no peat. One of the scotches in the first batch of the malt ended up revealing a little peat once they had blended it. So he had just a hint of peat. Yeah,
it was like a subtle hint.
And I loved it. It was a sherry-based scotch with just a hint of peat.
But that is not what you have here.
No, this is batch 2.
Yeah, that was batch 1 that had that. But it was just, he was talking about how, wow, your chair's spinning. That was almost cool how he bailed on that. Didn't you see it? The chair's spinning, and he's got the green shirt on there about the pickle. There's all kinds of things going on over here.
This happened on January 1st. Now be careful.
I know, it did get crazy.
Slow down.
All right, so let's pour something.
That's nice.
Oh my!
Which one did you pour?
All 3.
Okay. When you do a tasting with Don and on our live stream with Don, you start with the grain.
Yes, that's the first one we have is the grain.
Okay.
Wow, you got extra glasses? That's
I had to go rinse one.
Here, why don't you pour? Scott's got a steadier hand than I.
There we go. Hey.
Here, and this one I rinsed.
You rinsed? Oh, I got 6.
Oh, that's out then. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's craziness going on. You know what? I feel like the shirt's making me look.
You know, the first time we all met, it was a wonderful threesome.
Oh, yes. We have done our menage a trois. That was when we did 3 ports.
All right. So anyway,
that glass just disappeared.
It did.
Look at that.
And these are all bottled at 43% ABV.
Wow, that smells delicious.
Don has said recently that they are coming out. He's working on his next batches of all of these. and he's going to do a 3-pack. Basically, I think there'll be 200 milliliter bottles,
Oh, genius.
but he'll have one of each in there.
Nice.
Nice.
Sounds great.
Yes.
It does.
Now let's see, and because I don't remember from memory what all.
Look at this. You need bifocals. He needs some bifocals
I
at
need
this
that.
point.
I can't.
Oh, you're showing your age, my friend.
We are. Look at that. Graham's got it with the shades on. Look at that.
Yes, man.
He's trying to read it, and I'm filling time. Filling time, and he's soaking it all in right now.
And I was looking if he had. We'd have to pull up some information on them.
No, just go with what you taste.
We're not going to do that.
Right.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Now, what Don does also though is he does extremely small batches. All of his batches are around 3,000 bottles, and he does not try to make them each batch the same.
Right.
He admits there will be some variances,
Right.
and because he uses different whiskeys.
What do you get on the nose for this exceptional grain?
We've had this. Joanne, Gran, what do you got?
This is lovely. It's got a really creamy nose with a little bit spicy, but then
Yes.
a really soft palate. But there's a bit of an industrial edge to it. It's got like just a titch of sort of plasticky kind of. It's not off-putting, but it certainly is.
I get diesel.
Yeah,
There you go.
I love diesel.
It kind of smells like a skidoo on a Sunday night after a snowstorm.
A skidoo.
A skidoo.
Diesel powered skidoo.
A diesel powered skidoo.
It's like a snowmobile.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to call it a skidoo.
You and your Canadianisms.
Yes, henceforth I'm saying skidoo.
I had them saying Saskatchewan.
Yes, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
I've got a buddy nicknamed Bixby, Matt Robertson, that lives in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Regina.
Yes, he'll love that.
Rhymes with
Dolores.
Dolores.
There we go, breaking in some Seinfeld, baby.
Keeping that one.
Graham, I think you called this. You guys called this perfectly. I mean, that's exactly. I get a little bit of almost like a plastic bottle and the cream and the spice.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually a very, it's not as aromatic as some of the other grains I've had the opportunity to try. I'm assuming it's not that old.
You know, I don't know. There's some old in it, though.
Yeah. And I'm not sure the malt. I believe it's the malt has some 30-year-old Macallan in it. I think the grain goes up into the 20s.
Okay.
Some.
Have you tasted?
And you know what?
He's got something. He's digging in a drawer here.
Well, I've got the flyer.
Digging in his drawers.
Digging in his drawers. Look at that.
Right.
Oh my
Damn.
goodness. That was somewhat arousing.
Only someone. Yeah.
That's right. Prom night.
They're somewhere else.
Oh, we're back to prom night.
Sorry, had to throw it in.
That's okay.
That could be prom nighted.
I do have printouts from each one of these that
But you
he
can't
walked
find
us
them.
through. Yeah.
Can't find them.
So-
We've got them. Yeah. You got those live.
Don usually tunes in and watches us.
Usually
Don,
on.
we apologize.
He has no idea we're trying these, though.
Right. Yeah, this is on the fly.
Don, we apologize for everything.
We apologize for everything.
Not even just whiskey aside.
So flavor notes. And we'll let you guys, when you're ready, I mean, we could wander here.
Yeah, definitely that plastic note.
Slightly industrious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
It's soft. It's not harsh by any means. It's got really soft edges to it, and it's actually quite delightful. But what I consider that plasticky industrial note really does come right up front.
It would lend well to a Campbelltown whiskey. Or Campbellton.
It's soft. It's rounded for me. I'm with you on that. It's got a velvety smoothness.
Yep.
Leaves just a slight burn. I call it the snow burn since I am from Canada and I do live in an igloo. But other than that, it's actually a very nice grain. I really enjoy it.
It's quite drying though on the palate. I find that kind of leaves you wanting for a little more. Gee.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, a little astringency. Nice.
Hey, you didn't even leave me any.
Oh, you can pour mine a little weaker too. Since
Okay, well, the barrel that this is blended or some of it is from Loch Lomond.
That explains the industrial.
Offers a lively blackberry and lemon highlights. Structure is provided by a barrel of 14-year-old whiskey from North British Distillery.
Ah.
A rare and wonderful cask of 33-year-old wheat whiskey from the Carsbridge Distillery. Long since closed. Adds the depth.
Interesting.
And that's it on the different barrels in this. And it's married in first fill Oloroso sherry cask.
Yeah.
Actually not getting a whole lot of sherry notes off of it as I expected I would.
No, but you did get the drying. Usually an Oloroso or a sherry barrel, if it's an active sherry barrel, will be fairly drying in nature. I think anyways. Good choice. So how did you guys actually attended a class on this?
He did
tasting.
Yeah, he did a live tasting.
He was in town here for
Yeah, he moved through, and he was on like a whirlwind tour. And he came through, and what did we have? We had about 60 people, I think, in attendance. And there we go. And
very nice. Oh, I wish I could see that. It's a bit. Okay, I see it now.
He's got these
very nice,
what I call North Korean 25-watt bulbs. I'm kind of getting a tan from the 25-watt bulb. They're highly illegal bulbs.
Okay, so then next would be the exceptional malt.
Prom night.
You came in prom night. You almost got to say it like that, like prom night. Yeah.
I'm going back to Sackville.
I'm going back to my rum too.
Okay, on the exceptional malt, let's see if I can.
Wow.
That is really nice. Thank you for sending that. That I really enjoy this.
Oh, that's quite lovely.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, hello.
I know.
Again, married in first fill Oloroso sherry casks.
This one, the sherry is much more more apparent on the nose.
Yeah, it's got that chewy wine gummy kind of sweet sherry quality to it. That's really the mouth-watering sherry quality.
Right up front, brings you into the glass. Yeah. Very, 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 very powerful and punchy almost.
Well said. Well said.
Can I see the grain again? Just curious.
Wow.
Can you see it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's almost powdered sugar now.
Different ones. She's nosing the different ones.
Yeah, actually, it's bang on powdered sugar.
If you go back to the grain, it almost smells like powdered sugar.
Wow. Scott's gone off camera. He's got one of these 25-watt North Korean bulbs right on the bottle.
Right on my bottle.
Get the tan going.
He better not be taking his pants off again.
Yeah, we don't know what he's doing. He's slightly off camera. Oh my God, Lord. Put it back. Put it back.
So this has some Glenfarclas.
She's hand in front. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
Some Ben Nevis.
Balvenie. A little Balvenie. Kinenvy.
I love Kinenvy.
He loves Kinenvy. I've never even heard of it.
I do. You've never heard of it?
I haven't. I'm a dummy.
Okay.
Altabane.
Altavania. Alkrois.
Othrusk.
Othrusk. I don't know.
Glenallachie.
Yep, bang on.
That was
good. Westport, Speyside, and of course Macallan.
Wow. Now go back to your favorite. I want to hear
it.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Wow. Okay. So I had the most amazing experience. I was visiting the Glenfiddich Distillery. I was at a master class with Ian Logan. No, that's not right. Ian Miller. I know too many Ians. These are the Ians I know. These are the Ians I know. Anyways, prom night. So I was at a master class with the master distiller at the time, and Kinninby is actually a distillery that doesn't normally have official bottlings. It's an ingredient or a whiskey that's often used for blends. It's often most recognized in the blend called Monkey Shoulder. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Sure.
Okay, so Kinninby is one of the components of Monkey Shoulder, which is actually, I love that blend, and if I could get my hands on it, I would buy it on a regular basis. So when I was visiting Glenfiddich, I mentioned that Kinninby was actually one of my favorite. You know, just the actual Monkey Shoulder and the components of it was very interesting to me. So the master distiller took me over to Kinninby, and I actually had a tour of the distillery, and I got to try a couple of Kinninby single malts, which are super rare. And the fact that this is in this is quite lovely, because it is a very lovely, it's a very complex whiskey. It gives the back to a lot of the blends that they make, which is maybe more like the spine is what I should say. It's really nice. It's complex.
Wow. Where is it located?
It's located in the Speyside area of Scotland, right next to, literally on the grounds of Glenfiddich and Balvenie.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll send you photos. It's absolutely stunning.
Really? Please.
Well, I got just a nice blast of like a lemon raspberry pie.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I could go for some lemon raspberry pie.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I know. I'm hungry now.
I'm starved. No, I think you're dead on. It's kind of got that like zinginess to it, which is really it's really tasty.
Zingy.
It's zingy.
It's zingy.
And again,
very technical term.
His labels are all pretty similar, but so that's the exceptional malt. The other was the exceptional grain.
Okay.
Now this is the exceptional malt.
You got a point there. I wonder if some people would not even notice. You know, I mean, obviously it's right on the label, but I wonder if the labels weren't a little bit more distinctive. Would it assist? I don't know.
I love quiet, unassuming labels, like these gems of whiskeys that exist in these undermarketed quiet little labels that are just awesome. Like I love. It's almost like a little treasure trove. Like, you know, something that doesn't look like, just a simple basic label, and what's inside the bottle is absolutely stellar.
Like Compass Box.
All right.
Exactly.
Although Compass Box, they've hired like a beautiful. Well, sometimes he goes simple, and sometimes he goes like French Renaissance. I mean, it's just.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he goes super artistic, and sometimes he goes really simple and just beautiful to the eye.
Yes.
How's everybody doing in La La Land? Cheers,
awesome.
Everybody.
Cheers. Yeah, how's that? What are our comments looking like here? Are they rolling in?
I apologize to them because with this threesome tasting going, I wasn't paying much attention to comments.
Oh.
I was reassured, don't worry about it. They got their own conversation going.
They do. They take care of themselves. It's Food Quig on.
Food Quig is with us.
Food Quig is with us.
That's right.
Hi, Food Quig.
Yeah, Food Quig is awesome. We ran across Food Quig actually, like very 1984 Orwellian, had his own YouTube show of him getting ready to watch us and then watching us when we were with Swami out of Montreal, Malted in Montreal.
Wow.
That was very like inside baseball-ish. It was very cool to like hear us in the background. Sorry, just throwing that out.
Looking at the back of your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My head just exploded.
Food Quig, yeah.
Wow.
And my wife was like, he did what now? What did he do? Because I told her, and I explained it twice. She's like, I don't get it. That's just because she can't believe like we have 5 people that watch anything I say.
Right.
That's the new wife, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been married for 14 years, so I can say that now.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Just.
Back to the malt, though, real quick.
Oh, right. Yes. Back to the whiskey.
The exception.
Yeah, my apologies. My apologies.
The exceptional malt, very not a sherry bomb. Very nice sherry notes going on with it.
Delicious.
The malt is probably my favorite of the three.
Yeah,
That's not yours.
I know, but it's delicious.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with you. It's probably your favorite of the three. Yeah, it is
So
good.
is this a sherry finish or a sherry matured?
He's using, and I was looking, he does not have any of the age statements. I'm pretty sure this is one that does use some 30-year-old Macallan. He doesn't go into this is the one with the different distilleries that I did name. And again, it's married in a first fill Oloroso sherry cask.
Okay.
Right. So further matured from the
Further. Mhm.
Yeah.
So they brought them all together and then let them sit.
Yes. The new terminology is a meritage.
Really, meritage?
Meritage.
Wow, I think conjoined. Conjoined would be good.
I like how Lassie got right up on the camera.
She
Make sure
did.
she was like, that was it.
Well, it's a very good French pronunciation.
It's a
Yes.
marriage.
Wow. Wow, that was kind of almost scary. Hold on, I didn't know we could do that. Like, right up here.
I'm gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming the word meritage.
Yeah, meritage, meritage. That is good. You know what? It's a good show when the dummies are learning something. That's what I'm saying.
I think you guys should do the up close like that every once in a while, like especially when you're going to do the test it. That would be great.
I am with you. I used to like really get on the camera and he'd be like, "You're not talking to the microphone. I'm supposed." He literally chained me to the microphone, and I'm like, "No, let me come up and do all the test it."
Oh my God, you guys are precious.
There you go. Sorry, Graham fell out of his chair there. What happened there? He left.
I don't know where he went. He just said, "Excuse me," and he left.
Well, it's too much mouth.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for the blend? The exceptional blend. The third one. Okay, so
I don't know where it went. Oh, I got it.
Wait for him to come back.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, so if I don't have the T-shirt to match, I might as well
Yeah.
get my flat cap on.
Got his flat cap going.
Look at that.
My baby daddy got his flat cap
Woo!
going.
Baby daddy.
No.
okay.
We need to have a conversation offline.
Yeah.
We started with the exceptional grain,
Good.
which is a blended Scotch whiskey.
Right.
A blended grain Scotch whiskey.
Yes.
We moved to the exceptional malt,
Look at that.
which is a blended malt Scotch whiskey.
It's like a tour.
Now, the third in the exceptional line is the exceptional blend,
Bam.
which is then going to marry some of our grains and some of our malts together into a blended Scotch whiskey.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do this.
Now he's looking. You're going to need
You
to
might
get
as well
some,
talk again.
Yeah, you're going to need to get some bifocals at some point.
Oh, you poor boy.
Yeah, he needs like a little magnifying glass. You need a little magnifying glass you can just throw right over there. Put it on there, and I could zoom into the camera. You got anything? You got something?
I'm reading.
He's reading.
I'm ignoring you.
I heard a dog.
Will we be playing the Jeopardy song for you?
Yes.
I could,
Okay,
oh,
so
here we
this
go.
is a marriage again into a first fill Oloroso sherry cask.
It's like a
Or
shotgun.
sherry butt.
It's like a shotgun wedding.
But this contains grain or a range of mature grain and whiskey casks from North British, Strathclyde,
Strathclyde.
Wow.
Cameron Bridge, Glenfarclas, Ben Nevis,
Farkless.
Balvenie, Caninvie, Glenfiddich, Altabanya,
Altavania.
Wow.
Ochrusk,
A thrusk.
Krusk,
A thrusk.
Oh, look at that. He's like,
Thrust.
yeah, like a Viking. Thank God you're here, Joe.
Glenallachie,
Glenn, what?
Westport, Speyside, and of course
I'm
Macallan.
not sure you got the
Of
West Coast.
course.
So what do we got on the nose? Wow.
I'm kind of smelling dirty feet.
Yeah, you know what? I was just going to say musky and warm.
Dog ass.
Oh, musky and warm was what I was about to say. Sounds like, what did she say? What did she say?
I thought maybe Graham took his shoes off.
Very well.
He did, actually.
You brought in the flat cap and no shoes. Party going on. It is though. I get like a warm musky.
Back it up.
Back it up. All right, you guys go.
Here, get into that there.
I'm getting into this.
Look it
Good night. Whew.
It's on me.
Oh, somebody's walking on the street again.
Oh, streetwalkers. Sorry. That's my bad. Oh no. That was the spittle. My apologies. It just flew out of my mouth.
Literally on and in the nose. It's quite an interesting draft.
It's a little
I
burny.
apologize. It popped in.
It's a little burny in nature.
Oh,
That's nice.
Yeah, I would say it has that same little bit of wine gummy sweetness that the malt had. It's not as creamy as the grain.
And it's not as punchy as the second one either. So, I mean, it goes to show how you can.
It's like the Three Bears.
right.
Oh,
A little too
It's,
soft.
I almost give it a little chewy even.
the bed was a little too soft. Prom night.
You've been drinking all afternoon. So
No.
Yeah.
I would never do that on a Sunday with the dummies. Ever.
Yeah, don't do that with the dummies.
Never.
That's right.
No.
What do you
I
got,
think
Scott?
you're right. I like the malt the best
Mm.
of the three. Personally, I think the malt is probably the winner for me. This one's nice, but it's not as punchy as the malt.
So does Scott. I think this was my favorite when we had him originally. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I get a heavier sweetness, a little bit more of a chewiness with it.
I get a bit of a sour note on that one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one's a bit sour for me. Or it's got a sour finish maybe. Like my ex-husband.
Oh,
X.
X.
X. I like that one. Not as much as the malt though. Yeah, I would definitely buy the malt.
Mm.
Yeah, and like I say, it's and when Don Sutcliffe was here and he was doing his tasting and we was talking to him afterwards, I had seen these on the shelf here, had never seen anything on them, and they're $90 to $100 price range.
They're
here.
pricey.
And that was the only thing really. I hadn't seen them. I didn't know anything about them. They were $100, and I said that's why I haven't bought them. But after his tasting, I was like, I wouldn't hesitate to buy them if
Right. And he even mentioned that because he was on like I think he was even worldwide doing a tour trying to get them out because I think they had heard the same thing that a lot of people didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think that happens a lot for independent bottlers, in what I call Graham and I are very good at this. We'll walk into our local liquor store and we'll see what we call the people that are just standing there in front of what I call the wall of whiskey.
mhm.
And they're so unsure because they see, especially independent bottlers, and they're not exactly sure what they are because they don't understand the concept of independent bottling. But once you approach them and you kind of give them a little bit of information, you kind of, I don't want to say you guide them, but you just sort of, you help them along in their whiskey journey, and that helps them pick something that's that may be more what they're looking for. When you kind of make them understand the whole concept of an independent bottler has the ability to go to many different distilleries or create different blends, or I mean, Uthrusk is a distillery I had a chance to actually visit. It's a closed distillery. It's not open to the public, and the majority of the whiskey that's made there actually goes in blends. So when you find out that you can actually get an independent bottling of it all by itself, or you kind of get to understand how it creates the blend or what it adds to a blend, then you appreciate it all the more, because you realize you're getting something fairly not only different, but something quite unique, because it's not something that's easily available on the market, if that makes any sense. You know, it's not like a bottle of Balvenie 12 is just a bottle of Balvenie 12. I shouldn't say just, that's terrible.
No.
But it's Balvenie, and it's got Balvenie 12, and it might have a bit of 15, and it might have a bit of 21. But a blend is so much more complex in the sense that it's got all the different components. And if ever anyone that's listening or yourselves have a chance to actually go to a blending school, it is a super educational experience, because you quickly understand the concept of what it takes to create a whiskey versus a single malt. It's quite educational.
Wonderful spot there. I'm with you. The artisanship in a blend is just, Compass Box taught me that, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think all the assumptions that people have about blends will be quickly dismissed once you have that opportunity to kind of dig into it. And even the assumptions that a lot of whiskey geeks have about blends and what they think they would like in their own blend, once they have the chance to actually dig into it a little and actually try it, you quickly realize that, you know, just loading up on sherried whiskeys or piling on the peat or, you know, that sort of thing, just, it actually doesn't work the way that you think it's going to work. So it's quite fascinating science.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, Compass Box, Douglas Lang. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're loving that blended journey as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The Douglas Lang's especially really impressive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the Epicurean. You didn't like it as much.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like that Epicurean.
I think the Epicurean threw people for a loop because it's so light and almost ethereal that it's not what people expected from a Scotch.
Right.
But I actually really enjoyed it. It's in the same category as Compass Box Blazda. I don't know if anybody's ever. Nope, sorry. Whoops, that's Ardbeg Blazda.
Okay.
The one that Compass Box created that was an ultralight blend was, we don't have it anymore because I drank it all.
You're thinking Delilah?
I am, nope, yes, Delilah.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Delilah was precious to me, and I bought it in New York, and I think I had it gone and completely drank within 2 months, because I thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful example of a light, again, refreshing blend, which it was great.
And didn't kill the pocketbook.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I agree with you. The Epicurean really surprised me.
I like the Scallywag was my favorite, but I love sherry Scotch.
Yeah. See, I like the saltiness of rock oyster as well.
Yeah, that
There
was
you
good
go.
too.
We're hitting it. And I didn't mind Big Pete either, baby.
Yeah.
Big Pete was good.
Big P, I think you really have to be a fan of aggressive peat. We've introduced Big Pete to a few friends of ours who are like either a Lafroig or an Ardbeg fan, and when they had the Big Pete, it was just too much for them. It was almost like a slap across the face, because it was just overly peated. It's so young and aggressive and beautiful for people that love peat. That people that are
6.3.
yes.
He's talking dirty to me now. That's dirty talk.
Uh-oh. I see a hot tub in the future.
Ooh, hot tubbing with the Octomore.
Back to prom night. Oh boy.
What's the okay? So Memorial Day weekend here in the States.
Right.
Tomorrow we'll do a barbecue and stuff. Have family.
Thank you to a veteran
coming over, and yes, same to you. Raster has asked what Canada has planned for tomorrow.
Does Canada do Memorial Day?
Work.
Yeah. See, I don't think they have that as a holiday.
Our long weekend, our holiday weekend was last weekend. It's called Victoria Day.
Victoria Day. Beautiful.
Of course, after Queen Victoria.
A holdover from the fact that we're
from the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth.
Very nice.
The Queen on our money.
Now, Don Sutcliffe with us did state when he was talking to us, he knew I think he was influenced by John Glazer when he first got started.
That's what he said.
But he had noticed John Glazer was sticking doing a lot of ex-bourbon cask stuff at first, and was trying to introduce Scotch to American drinkers, or so what he thought anyway.
I know he did say he wanted to work with Sherry because that was one of his favorite flavor.
Yes.
I've heard Sherry's lovely. She seems like a nice person.
Sherry's a very lovely lady.
She's pleasant.
Yeah, she's pleasant.
And chewy.
Yeah, she makes good date squares.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Who doesn't like chewy?
Oh boy.
We got any comments coming in?
And 25
An
minutes.
hour and 25, and it feels like 25. We got any comments? Do we need to address any comments that have come in? I see some rolling there. I think the Chewy comment may have thrown in. I meant it as a Star Wars reference.
I hit the one.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Masters come in. I know they've got their own rolling comments coming in. Is there anything we should do in wrap up?
And like I say, I apologized to them because I was ignoring them due to the tasting here, and they said, "Don't worry about it. We got our own thing going." So no, I think we're good.
All right. Well, let's plug Joanne there. Talk about what you got going on, Whiskey Lassie.
Give us something new. Give us
something old and something new.
Something borrowed, something blue.
Wow, that was awesome.
But before you close out, have you guys tied the knot yet?
What?
It's coming up. It's coming up.
She's not even wearing the engagement ring anymore.
No.
Goodness.
What was the conversation you had with your ex-mother-in-law again?
Oh, Mitzi's surprise. Mitzi's surprise. But what is Whiskey Lassie then have going on? Let's tie into plug yourself, my lady.
Give us something. I mean, what's new in your world or the whiskey world? Give us something you haven't reported on yet.
Well,
she pretty much leaves it all online
yeah.
You bleed it out. You bleed it out.
I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't write a speech.
Don't worry about any of it. You can
It's an honor to be nominated with all the other. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong speech.
When are you going over to Scotland again?
This is the first year in 10 years that Graham and I haven't gone over to Scotland, so it's been a very bittersweet kind of year from that perspective. However, oh Jesus, here we go again with the pickle.
See, he's been holding that up for a while there, and Grant, your Graham's reading it.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
No, he doesn't.
Definitely.
No, he doesn't.
So this is the first year in a long time you haven't gone to Scotland.
It's the first year we haven't gone to Scotland since 2007, and it's been rather bittersweet. We do have a trip to Kentucky planned in September. We both felt that it was time that we sort of long overdue that we really got a better feel for what the bourbon world was all about. And so from a whiskey perspective, that's an interesting avenue for myself and Graham to be going on in September. But what will be happening for those who are Canadian or living in Canada, we're celebrating 150 years this year. We're a whole 150 years old. Woo! So what I'm going to start doing on July 1st is I'm going to pretty much daily review a Canadian whiskey until I run out of Canadian whiskeys. So I figure I'll probably have about 75 to 80 reviews coming back to back to back to back to back to back. And something else, which is not necessarily whiskey related, which I'm super proud of, is because it is Canada's 150th anniversary, there was a project that was started, and there was applications that were requested through a program called the Canada C3, which is Canada coast to coast to coast. 5,000 Canadians applied. 300 Canadians were chosen for this particular project, and I'm one of them, which is really cool. I leave on Tuesday, and although it's not necessarily whiskey related, I will be blogging about my experience for the 10 days that I'm on this particular project, which will be interesting beyond belief. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, which is always, our life.
George Kaplan had asked earlier to ask you about the coast to coast to coast.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So basically it's a refurbished Coast Guard vehicle, and it's 150 days of celebrating being Canadian. We have what we call our pillars that we're trying to kind of bring to light, which is youth engagement, which is helping the next generation to make their way in the world and be the next leaders. The environment, which is very important to, pretty much everybody who thinks the environment is important. There's also what they call reconciliation, because, we are working with, again, helping the next generation to just be a more open and understanding generation. And the last one is called, oh my God, and I always go blank, diversity and inclusion. So, Canada is such a wonderful country, and our Prime Minister is such a great man. Right now, we accept people for who they are, and we love the fact that we're all so different, and we bring so much to our wonderful country from coast to coast. So that's the 4 pillars that we're kind of working on. And there's about, I think, 15 to 30 of us on each of the 15 legs. We're on the leg for 10 days. Mine is from Toronto to Montreal, and we'll be stopping along everywhere. And I thought the boat was going to be dry, which I was kind of in a panic for just a second.
You break that rule.
So I reread the agreement that we all signed, and it's actually the crew that needs to be dry, which is, yay, I'm not a crew. So I will bring some. So I'll bring some whiskey samples with me, and I will likely include that in part of my blogs.
Oh, yes. And that ties in great because you had the picture of your prime minister with a bunch of kids on prom night.
Oh, that was amazing. Prom night!
Prom night! That was on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That man is on Twitter all the time.
That was great.
We have the best prime minister in the world. I'm sorry, we really do.
Yeah, he was out jogging, right? And came across
Yes, he
some
was.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Photobomb some prom kids.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, well, give the viewers real quick. Where do they find you? What's your address? What's your name?
Yeah, home address.
Phone number.
What we mean, your home address.
Y'all can stop in anytime.
There you go.
Doors always open.
Doors always open. The boat is always open, and the whiskey collection is yours just as much as it is ours. Amen. Wow. Whiskey Fabric. Thank you so much, Daniel Copeland, for allowing us to get together like this on a Sunday and try some fantastic Canadian whiskey. I am the Whiskey Lassie and can be found at whiskylassie.blogspot.ca. Thanks, dummies.
Hey, Salancha.
Now, what about Graham? What about Graham, real quick? Let's include Graham.
You can find him sitting beside the Whiskey Lassie.
Woo!
It's Mr. Whiskey Lassie to you.
Exactly.
Mr. Whiskey Lassie.
What's your address? If someone wants that rum punch recipe, where do they contact you?
Yeah, you do have Twitter.
Twitter is probably just as easy as anything else. So it's at Graham McKenney. So GrahamMacKenney.
He's a Scottish cracker.
Wow. Awesome.
Prom night.
Woo! So
do you got plans for the next hour then?
Oh, they got plans.
There's always plans.
Always plans.
All right.
All right, we're gonna Scotch it. You you got something.
Thanks, Dummies.
Scotch it, you Scotch guy.
Salancha.
Dummies.
Where's the